The Black Dahlia, Hollywood's most terrifying unsolved mystery. January 15, 1947. A cold morning in Los Angeles. A woman and her young daughter are taking a stroll when suddenly she stops. Her scream shatters the silence. She has just found something no one should ever see. A body. Severed in half. Laid out in a grotesque display. The victim? A young woman named Elizabeth Short. But history would remember her by another name, the Black Dahlia. This was not just a murder. It was a message. A challenge to the world. Who did this? And why? Tonight, we step into the darkness of Hollywood's underbelly to uncover the horrifying truth. A star that never got to shine. Elizabeth Short was 22. She came to Los Angeles chasing a dream like thousands before her. She wanted to be a star. But Hollywood didn't greet her with bright lights and red carpets. It swallowed her whole. She drifted from place to place. Working odd jobs. Dating different men. Nobody really knew her. And then, she disappeared. Nobody knows exactly who she met that final night. But what happened next would haunt America forever. The hunt, the horror, the shadow. That night, Elizabeth Short walked alone. Was she running from something? Or towards it? In the shadows, something lurked. A presence. Silent. Watching. And then it struck. A screen cut off. A struggle, swift, brutal, merciless. Nobody saw. Nobody heard. Nobody came to help. By morning, she was no longer Elizabeth Short. She was a corpse. A nightmare carved into reality. Her body sliced clean in half. No blood at the scene. Her face mutilated. A grotesque smile carved from ear to ear. But the most horrifying detail? She was alive when it happened. A killer who left nothing behind except fear. The murderer didn't just kill her. They made a statement. Every cut precise, surgical. Her body washed, scrubbed clean. No fingerprints. No DNA. Not a single clue. What kind of mind does this? A sadist? A surgeon? Or something far worse? Los Angeles police launched the biggest manhunt the city had ever seen. They hunted doctors, ex-boyfriends, criminals, drifters. Over 200 suspects. None matched. No fingerprints. No murder weapon. Just a body posed like a twisted work of art. And a killer who was watching. Laughing. Mocking them all. The Black Dahlia's killer was never found. No justice. No answers. Only whispers. Theories. Rumors in the dark. Some say the murderer was a doctor, his skills too precise. Others claim it was a Hollywood insider hiding behind wealth and power. But the truth? It disappeared. Just like Elizabeth Short. And maybe, just maybe, the killer walked free. Still out there. Still watching. What do you think? Who was the Black Dahlia's killer? Was it a crime of passion, or something far more sinister? The case remains unsolved. But one thing is certain. Hollywood's darkest secret was never meant to be uncovered. And maybe, just maybe, we were never meant to know. And then one day a clue appeared. A sealed envelope. No return address. It was delivered to a Los Angeles newspaper. Inside, Elizabeth Short's birth certificate, her business cards, and a handwritten note. The handwriting? Messy, uneven, like dried blood smeared across the page. The Dahlia won't stay silent. Just wait and see. Detectives felt a chill run down their spines. This wasn't just a murder. It was a game. And the killer was still playing. Letters from a ghost. But that was only the beginning. More letters arrived. Each one more taunting than the last. One promised the killer would turn himself in. But when the police waited, no one came. The authorities realized something terrifying. They weren't just hunting a murderer. They were chasing a ghost. Then, a name surfaced. George Hodel. A wealthy doctor. Charismatic. Brilliant. And deeply, deeply unsettling. He lived just a few blocks from where Elizabeth was found. He had the medical knowledge, more than enough to make the precise cuts on her body. Decades later, his own son, Steve Hodel, uncovered chilling recordings. Tapes of his father laughing as he spoke about the murder. But before the police could move in, Hodel vanished. He left the country. Was he running? Or was he simply toying with them? The unanswered question. Was George Hodel the Black Dahlia killer? Or was he just a convenient suspect? The police never arrested him. And then, the letters stopped. As if the killer had grown bored. As if the game was over. But the biggest question still lingers. If not Hodel, then who? 80 years later, the shadow remains. Nearly 80 years have passed since that cold morning in 1947. Los Angeles has changed. Hollywood continues to shine. But the shadow of the Black Dahlia never left. Elizabeth Short lies in her grave, but her story lingers, a curse, unsolved. George Hodel died in silence in 1999. His son spent his life trying to prove that his father was the killer, presenting tapes, theories, and dark family secrets. But there was no confession. No undeniable proof. Hodel took his secrets to the grave. Or perhaps, he wasn't the only one who knew the truth. If it wasn't Hodel, then who? A different doctor? A stranger who crossed paths with Elizabeth that night? Or a serial killer who was never caught, who watched the world try to solve his puzzle and laughed? But perhaps the most chilling thought isn't Elizabeth's brutal death. It's the possibility that her killer lived a full life. That he grew old. That he died peacefully in his sleep. While the rest of us are still stumbling in the dark. If that's true, then he won. He turned her into an icon. Not of Hollywood dreams, but of eternal fear. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved. The Black Dahlia is more than a murder case. It is a warning. A reminder that some mysteries will never have answers. And maybe that silence is the most terrifying thing of all. What do you think? Was George Hodel the killer? Or was it someone else? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because Hollywood has many more dark secrets waiting to be uncovered. See you next time.